Hello and welcome. I'm Nate Cochran, contributing editor for CRN. With me on my left, Gary Lawrence from Data, and on the right, Chris Bright from Microsoft. 10 years ago, Microsoft brought out Windows 10. And as they say, all good things must come to an end. And such is the case with Windows 10 and the progression to Windows 11. Chris, if I can start with you, why is Windows 10 coming to its end of support?
During the pandemic, we realized that people's needs and uses of a PC was dramatically different, and we designed a new operating system to accommodate those changes, in particular things like working from home, connecting to multiple displays, extra security. So, Windows 11 was born to solve for the future, which is that new way of working moving forward.
Gary, how long do partners have to help their customers make the switch?
Windows 10 end of support is on October the 14th, 2025, so it's less than a year away. Of those devices that are out in the market still running on Windows 10, about half of those are ineligible to upgrade, so we need to really start talking to the customers now.
In Australia and New Zealand alone, there's approximately 4 million commercial devices that are not going to be able to go to Windows 11. Those customers do need to do something about that in order to protect themselves moving forward. The security elements that we built into Windows 11 is very, very key. And then a whole lot of productivity enhancements, connecting to second monitors, third monitors. Those things weren't easy with Windows 10, and Windows 11 just makes that so much easier for the that productivity.
Copilot in Windows is obviously a really interesting addition that the customers are engaging with that and adopting that for productivity gains and using generative AI as well.
How does this compare to what else has happened in the past that partners in the community have seen with other sort of similar step changes?
When we migrated from Windows 7 to Windows 10 in that commercial space, it was quite a heavy lift. With Windows 10 to Windows 11, it's a lot more straightforward, a lot faster process.
Windows 11 is built off the basis of Windows 10, and so the software compatibility, the app compatibility is almost 100%. Where there are instances that a customer finds that something's not working quite right, we have a program called App Assure where customers can come to us and we can help them through that. So there's a lot of tools and resources available to solve for that.
Gary, is there enough capacity and capability in the channel to make this shift in time, given that we've now got less than a year to get there?
If we act now, there is enough capacity in the channel for us to be able to address all of those customers that need to migrate, but you need to really start those conversations today. They can explore their estate, find those devices which aren't eligible to upgrades. They can then address that and find out whether it can be upgraded or whether it can be refreshed with a new device.
What's the likelihood that everyone will get the machine they want?
If we start now, if we start forecasting and working with OEM partners and working with Data for stock holding, we should be able to alleviate this challenge, this problem that we're facing.
It's now is the time where we really have to plan ahead if we are going to have enough devices to solve everybody's need.
So Gary, what customer objections are you hearing from your partners in the channel, and how do they confound those, or how do they confront those objections?
One of the main objections that I'm hearing when I talk to our reseller partners is that their end user customers don't have budget allocated. And so a lot of those customers that are thinking that they won't then look at refreshing their fleet until the new financial year, that will leave them not enough time really to deploy the number of devices they'll have to before October the 14th. We're asking our resellers and advising them to talk to the customers, start planning now when they're ready to go at end of support with a new device.
Chris, what other sort of objections are coming through, and again, what's the answer to those?
One is just pure awareness. A lot of customers don't even know that this date is coming, so it's really incumbent on all of our partners to make sure they're spreading the word and getting that message across. And then there's a few customers who have heard the message and don't believe it, and kind of assume everything's going to be all right. And that's where I'm most worried about, because that apathy towards the challenge is probably going to hurt some people, and we need to make sure that everybody's aware how important it is that we move people forward.
And cybersecurity is a massive issue. Being compliant come October 15, what's the implications if they are not running compliant supported operating systems?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's going to be a heap of bad actors waiting for that 15th of October deadline. So we need to protect against that. The second one is that people aren't necessarily going to be having the right level of insurance cover come that date. If you're not compliant with the latest and greatest software or protected with the right level of software protection, your insurance is invalid.
So Chris, talk to us about what needs to happen right now for customers to get across the line on October 15th.
The first thing to do is just evaluate what you've got. Once you know what you've got, then you know where to start and what needs to be changed. We've got some amazing examples, customers like Westpac, who they did that process over a year ago, figured out what they needed to do, and then they migrated 4,000 PCs a week in order to get them compliant and get them up to Windows 11. And they used all of our tools like Intune and Autopilot to get that speedily across to the latest platform. A mixed fleet is perfectly doable. Any customer can have Windows 10 and Windows 11 running at the same time and migrate them over time and get them to where they need to be, but they need to start now.
How are resellers going to help and partners help their customers get across the line?
They need to start that conversation now to like you say, triage those devices, find out the scale of the challenge that they face with each customer. It can take 12 months to get across the whole deployment, so we still have just enough time, but if we act now, start now.
You've got time, but there's no time to waste. So there you have it. Windows 10 is coming to an end and the clock is ticking. The best day to switch to Windows 11 was yesterday. The next best day is today. Hit up your Data rep, speak to Microsoft, speak to your customers. Do it without delay, there's no time to waste. And from me, Nate Cochran, Gary from Data, and Chris from Microsoft, we wish you and your customers all the very best on the big switch to Windows 11.